Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Christina from Our Home. This is video number 2 in my new series called Preparing for Winter Like the Proverbs 31 Woman Challenge. The goal with this challenge is to give us small, slow steps to prepare for winter. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please view the playlist at the end of this video so you can catch up on the series and know what we've been up to. In this video, I'll be talking you through task number 2 for this challenge, letting you know what I'm doing for the task, and hopefully you're encouraged to do something similar. So this week, the task is to think about meal planning in some capacity. Think about what you might want to do for winter meals just in general, if you'd like to have some kind of stockpile prepared, etc. So for me, as you can see, I've got lots of canned food behind me, home canned food that is. So I'm pretty much set for emergency meals or easy meals. For example, I have a bunch of soups and stews here, and then on the shelf below I have some pasta sauces which can easily be reheated. But something to consider is if there's a power outage, how are you going to prepare food? Do you have some type of outdoor stove that you can use? Is there another method you can prepare food? Think about that as you are figuring out what meals you might want to have on hand this winter. We have a wood stove that we use for heat, but it can also be used for cooking. So if we have a power outage, I can easily take one of my jars of food, just dump it into a pot and put that on the wood stove to heat it up. I also do a lot of freeze drying. So I've got 2 bins up there that hold my freeze-dried food, and that can also be prepared in the same way using my wood stove. Of course, I'm not assuming everybody else has a wood stove or a freeze dryer or even a lot of canned goods. So I want you to think about what kind of meals you can have on hand. Whether that's something simple like canned soup that can be heated up easily, or some freeze-dried things you can purchase online. You can also create a list of some shelf-stable snacks that don't require any cooking or any heating to be eaten. This is especially good if you have a lot of power outages. So some suggestions would be crackers, canned tuna or other canned meat. You could have some trail mix, granola bars, dried fruit, etc. Really, anything that can be kept at room temperature and is shelf-stable and can be eaten without any preparation. I think it's also helpful to come up with some kind of regular meal planning or menu system for winter because there's always lots of things going on. The weather can sometimes put a damper on plans. Sometimes it just saps our energy and we don't really feel like cooking a lot. So having some meals already planned out can be really helpful. It could be something like every Monday you're going to make a soup for dinner, or every Tuesday it's going to be pizza, whether that's homemade pizza, takeout pizza, doesn't matter. In our house, I like to do some homemade sourdough pizzas on Sundays, and that's just an easy thing for me to make. It's fun to make and it tastes really good, and it's something I don't even have to think about because I always have the ingredients. Speaking of ingredients, I always have the ingredients needed to make pasta, and as I said, the sourdough pizza, and even some basic ingredients to make a variety of soups. This is because I always buy these items. Even if I don't run out of them, I'll still buy a couple extra when I'm grocery shopping just to have a big stash of them, just in case. So I suggest considering doing this as well. Of course, your family's preferences and tastes are going to be different than mine. Something else to consider is drinking water. If you have no power, are you still able to get water? Are you able to get it from your taps, or will you keep a supply of bottled water? We're on a well, and the pump to get water from the well into our house is electric. So when the power goes out, no running water. If we can anticipate the outage because of the weather forecast, I will go and fill up a bunch of plastic jugs with water, and we always have jugs of water in the freezer as ice, which can be melted in dire situations. Plus, In the winter there's snow, and we have melted and boiled snow for drinking water before. It's not ideal, but we've done it. I've got my notebook here because I need to make a list of some things that I have to stock up on next time I go grocery shopping, just so we can have some shelf-stable items for quick snacks and meals and anything else. As I said, I've got a pretty good assortment of canned goods here. I'm checking my other pantry on the other side just out of frame, so let me turn my camera around so you can see what I see. I know the lighting is not good down here, but I'm working with what I have. So this is my other food pantry area. Most of it is homemade things, but I do have some bins for store-bought things. I like to keep an assortment of crackers because it's nice to have with soup or just as a snack. And I'm running low on crackers, so I'm gonna add that to my list for next time I go grocery shopping. Also, I like to keep some canned tuna on this shelf, and I have a few jars, but not as much as I would like. I'm pretty good for pasta. I've got a lot of rice, and I have some freeze-dried vegetables down here. I think what I might start doing is having a separate bin or basket like this one, just where I put emergency food, emergency snacks, that kind of thing. I think that will just be helpful for me to have it separate so that I don't have to worry about using it up and running out and then not having it when we need it. In this part of my basement, I have a big water jug and some smaller water jugs. So the big one, we fill that with water when we know there's going to be a possible power outage, and it just sits in our bathroom for washing our hands and flushing the toilet. And then these jugs, my husband would get them for work, for different things on job sites, and just save them because they're 4 liters, so they hold a lot of water, and they make really good ice packs in our freezer. If there's a power outage, we don't have to worry about the freezer spoiling because we've got these giant blocks of ice in there at all times. But there's also just this assortment and more in this bag just sitting here. So if there is a suspected power outage, I will fill all of these up with drinking water for us, for the pets, for the chickens. I'm back upstairs where it's a little bit brighter and easier to see me. So the task for this week, just to review, is to consider meal planning or creating some kind of menu for the winter months. It can be as structured or as loose as you'd like that to be. Also, make a list of some shelf-stable items that you'd like to start building up in your pantry. This can be things like actual meals that you can eat with minimal preparation in case there's power outages, or it can just be snack food items just to have on hand just in case. If you're following along with this challenge on social media, feel free to post your progress. You can use my hashtag preparing for winter like the Proverbs 31 woman. I'll have that written out in the description of this video. And be sure to check out all the other videos in this series. If you make any YouTube videos about your progress, please tag me so that I can watch that and give you some encouragement. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you have a great rest of your day.